Welcome to another series on artificial intelligence in Dynamics 365 Business Central. And the target is to end up creating an application with artificial intelligence from scratch end to end and be able to see, okay, is it something that we should actually really go for, or we should do a hybrid format where part of it is Copilot and part of it is our own judgment and coding. But of course, yeah, basing on how you prompt and how you think about it, this is a variable opinion. But before we delve into the coding, before we delve into Visual Studio Code or look at Visual Studio Code, it's always good practice to look at what the base application offers. Always, any technical person should, not only technical but also functional, should always delve into the front end, the application. What does the application do? What is it offering?
Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
So this is just the basic, this is a sandbox with the basic Cronus data. And of course, it is already telling us that this is a sandbox for test and demo or development purposes only. And so in the sandbox, you'll definitely find a General Copilot. This is a General Copilot. Let me just click on a new window, and it is giving me sample prompts like, how do I release a sales order? Show the latest invoices. Show customers grouped by their location. So these are just samples that we can leverage on, or maybe use our own samples. And on this side, we have the agentic framework in the sales order agent. Okay, so I'll definitely go to. So I've been fighting with Copilot before creating this video. I was like, okay, so Copilot, you're the master here. So at times AI, we say that it's you okay. Picture the smartest coworker next to you who will give you prompts or who will give you answers when you need. But what if we can say this is not the smartest coworker, but the most reliable coworker? Because if someone is too smart, they'll seem robotic, and you won't want to interact with them on a day-to-day basis. And so it went to generate for me an image on when to use Copilot in Business Central. And it was okay. I love the image because it can clearly show here. On one side, we have the Copilot, the general Copilot, and the Copilot for a specific page for you to analyze. And the general Copilot, you need to ask broad natural language questions, get summary insights across areas, quickly get an overview. And the page specific Copilot, you analyze data in context, ask targeted questions, drill into specific metrics. And for example, here, what's our cash flow trend this month? That's an example of a general. And then, what accounts have the highest expenses this month? So, funny thing, I went ahead and queried further because I was testing several prompts which were not working. I was like, okay, so this general copilot is not giving me the best. So, can you give me sample prompts that could work in the main copilot compared to the general copilot? So, I found that the best way to use AI is also to get prompts from AI, because AI has got really good prompts that can give you even better results than the prompts that you think about. And when you look at, for example, if you say navigate to posted sales invoices, so why should someone query navigate to posted sales invoices, yet with a simple tell me what you want, they're able to get this? So this is also another query to look at from the perspective of what you really want to use with Copilot versus what it can provide. Because if I can do a quick search and be able to fetch this same information, why should I go to Copilot to just ask for navigate to the posted sales invoice page, which is working? Of course, it's working and it's giving me the details, but is it really giving me the analysis that I need? And open the cash flow forecast. Where can I find the income statement? But we can see clearly the general copilot is to lead us into the page specific copilot, which is more impactful generally. So, for example, if we go to the vendor ledger entries, And we can start with the General Copilot and query, show me the vendor ledger entries real quick here. Vendor ledger entries, and then from the vendor ledger entries, we can now be able to see the query. I've copied another query here. And okay, let's go. So ideally, if I already know Business Central, I won't go to this path and use the General Copilot as much. For me, it hasn't impressed me the way uh, compared to the analysis Copilot. Okay, the page specific Copilot. Because if I go to analyze a list here, it has taken more time rather than me just searching the vendor ledger entry. I'd just go here, which vendors have overdue payments. And now this is the page specific Copilot, and it can give me better analysis in the vendor ledger entries. So the show me, of course, it will work if I don't know or I don't want to search. But who will why would you use the general instead of just searching or doing search? And we can definitely be able to group it from here by the vendor number from the row groups and get even a better view of the overdue vendor ledger entries and be able to maybe analyze other field, for example, posting date, the document date, and maybe what else can we add here? The document number and the external document number. It could be, yeah, something depending on what you want, and you can even now, from your analysis view, you are able to export it from and maybe add more analysis. So in the context of using Copilot, in the general aspect of saying you need to do a deep dive into the development, it's good to know and use the internal development team and be specific. For example, you can ask prompts that are specific to the user profile, because here I was going into the prompts that are specific to a finance professional or a finance user. Or and it was of course looking into accounts receivable, accounts payable, general journals, and all that. So give context to Copilot. Give context in terms of what kind of information are you, what system is running in your Business Central. Is it running a distribution? Is it running just a general system, or is it running a retail store? What is it actually doing? What is your system? What's your business? What's your business like? What kind of business are you running in your system? Then it will give it that context and now get better prompts specific to that business. And if maybe you need to present reports to the board and all that, you can create analysis views and save them and argue with Copilot. Don't just give up on the first prompt. Yes, it is still in preview mode. There's a lot being done, but you can still get a lot of information out of this. So if, especially the technical people, I really advise that you really delve, even the functional consultants, dive deep into Copilot and use it first on the front end before just doing anything. Get different prompts, look at the documentation here, and several samples that have been given, and then you'll get the best out of it before now we can go into deeper development using Copilot in Business Central AL programming.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.